he starts aiming towards you and you're getting low, you want to look to use cover. Let's say I'm taking a repairs fight, which this happens sometimes, and I'm in like this. I'm heal spraying. He's at the door. Second I notice I'm being shot, I go like this. I'm taking cover. I'm back in. He turns to me. I leave again. You can use clogs, obviously, as well. I don't really generally use these because sometimes they just jump and shoot you over them. So I prefer like using cover. Cover is important for, it doesn't matter what life form you playing, cover is very important.
Breaking
Whether
line of sight,
you're a lerk,
basically.
or a gorge, or a skulk, you want to be using cover to get closer to a marine and close the distance as far as possible without losing or taking damage. And as a marine, you're doing the opposite. You want to be killing the skulk while keeping your distance on them as much as possible.
So you sometimes, no, actually, basically every coach joins in, like goes to the Marines first, so he slides up towards them.
Yeah, so generally you're probably starting the fight, right? You're going 1-2 spets, they're focusing you a little bit, you're probably like half. So the scary part about doing that is taking the bullets is it's really hard to decide whether to go in or not. Because they might just full on commit you and you have to trust your skulks, which probably is not a good idea with most of these gathers, but
Is there anything better
so
that you can do as
Oxy
coach?
X fight I guess would be a good example. It's generally clog, something like, I guess I'll do like the default clog. Might be something like this. And then you're leading the fight, so oh my gosh. Okay, I don't even know how to do these clogs, but whatever. So you're probably like 1-2 spets. You're using this as a wall while trying to get closer and bait out bullets. If they commit to you, you're just trying to use cover to block bullets again. But yeah, you want to be engaging first, so you'd be like, okay, let's take X 3, 2, 1, let's go. I'm probably sliding straight at the marine at this point. Then I'm heal spraying. Then the second I notice I'm getting low, I might be doing something like this. Or I'm dodging. You don't just like stand still like this and just hope he doesn't kill you. You're just like, oh yeah, my skulks will kill him. It's never gonna happen.
But you're not gonna be dancing around this pillar if you know that your skulls aren't nearby, because you're more because it's much a dangerous position, right?
Uh,
So you would like back off to oxygen and try to get distance.
yeah, you could back out. But if I'm taking the room and X, I'm like 3, 2, 1, go. I'm first in the room. I'm straight at the marine. And then I'm probably dodging because any smart player will just shoot at me first. If they don't shoot at you, you just heal spray 'em and you're just always gonna win that fight. But you want to be like as close as you can to the marine.
Other times you wanna spit them when you're close to them rather than heal.
When I'm first in, right? I'm spitting them. I'm spitting them. There's no skull close enough to even do damage, so I'm just spitting. It very depends on the scenario, I'd say. If they're shooting at you, you probably want to be spitting them. If your skulk is baiting like on a wall, then you want to be spitting them. But sometimes I might do a variation of this, and I'm heal spraying backwards to keep him alive to get to him. It
But
just varies on the fight or engagement, I suppose.
why would you spit them if they shoot you? Because wouldn't be healing yourself
I
actually
want
make
to
you
be
live
doing
longer?
damage to him at that point. If he's brain dead shooting me, that means if a skulk lands 2 bites, like he's dead. Even
But
with med packs, so if they're no armor, 1 spit and 1 bite kills them. So if they're being med spam, 1 spit, 1 bite, they die. Instead of maybe the comp can out med. And when I notice something's not dying or I see med pack, I want to start spitting. Because you need to make sure that Maroon dies at that point.
This is training that's going on.
Yeah. So, Dano, what did you want to learn from me specifically, since I know you were the original person who asked?
Just basic rotations mainly. Like,
You have like a scenario for me?
okay, since we're on Jambi, I guess you could say right when lurks pop. So right when lurks pop, let's say we only have control of waste, but they are in Bay Wing and have pressure and grav as well. So like,
So
let's play off
presumably,
that.
I'd assume you at least have pairs on one of these players. Like, you know, like, if this is 2 bay and then there's 1 gravity, let's say he's going security, as long as you're paying attention to the guy's bay wing, right? They're probably gonna push waist behind this. If you're 2 lurks, you probably want to pick this guy X, because this guy is solo. This opens up a lot for you. You kill the guy in the middle, like someone has to either respond to that, the Skulks are through on res, you can maybe potentially force base. It can force a reaction, and then if you're healthy, you can always go back, because assumedly you have the waste tunnel. You shouldn't have taken too much damage with 2 lurks rotating off of it. And then you're coming back in, and you probably have the flank at this point if they decide to go in. If they didn't decide to go in, it's even better for you.
Okay.
So there's just small things like that, like knowing the timings on when you can be back to a fight or when you can leave and make it back is very important as a lurk.
Okay, and then do we just like lurks completely just not worry about left side unless Organ's getting hit?
I mean, assumably, Organ is a sack node. It is an extra node. So if you can defend it, sure, and it's not killing you to do it. Let's say there's a guy Organ, but you're already in Bay Wing. Maybe there's 1 guy there. Maybe you've already killed the guy's Bay Wing, right? You're not gonna go back and clear Organ. You're gonna stay on that side. You're gonna stay there, make sure some res dies on the right side. Because Organ is, again, a sack node. You do not need to kill the Marines in there. If you can trade for something 1 for 1, it's way better, always, since that's a sack node.
Okay. Can you give me like tips on how to get skulks through on res mainly as well?
So you have to be proactive in this. Because people will not tell you, like, unless they're like me, Golden, Chu, or like some high tier player, where they're not gonna tell you, hey, can you get me through on this side? It's, hey, I'm probably pressing tab at this point. I might see a spawner, right? I'm like, okay, he's gonna spawn bit or pipe. I know they probably have an EC node, so I'm gonna say, hey, let me get you through on left side res. But that's really dependent on the game. Like, if you have space and time to do that, yes, you want to do that. But generally, as a lurk, and like until fades come up, you're kind of on the defensive for a bit, unless you're packing.
And then when fades do come up, let's say waste times up and they have a bay gate and you have 2 lurks that are up. Is 1 lurk trying
Okay,
to
so 1 lurk is staying in waste.
the
1 lurk is staying in
left?
waste to help the fade spike, because spikes are very important in high pushes, very important to help the fades. You always want a lurk with a fade. 2 fades they're honestly not that great. Like, 1 lurk, 1 fade is super powerful. The lurk spikes the armor, the fade can kill him cleanly. 2 fades, like, you can block each other, like, it gets messy, and one of you can still die. If you're the solo lurk, you're gonna be on the res lane. But the second fades go up, typically, like, if there's no shotguns, right, you want to be on the left side. Like, all the lurks should be on res at that point. Like, you're no longer the defenders, the fades are.
Okay, so like what if there's 1 lurk?
If you are the solo lurk, if shotguns are not up, you're still on res.
Okay.
Until shotguns are up, you should probably be on res, generally speaking.
When shotguns do stay up, you just stick with the fades on right side?
Yep. You're gonna be sticking with the fades and trying to help them win engagements. You're trying to like fight for the shotguns at that point. You want the P-res down from the Marine team, and you want to keep their P-res low, and you want to keep the shotguns out of their hands. Because they're investing P-res in that. If you win these P-res fights, eventually the Marines get drained, right? And they're back to rifles. And you know aliens dominate Marines with rifles, no matter if they have weapons 3. I'm gonna answer some questions from chat real quick. Does the engagement depend on the player skill completely? If I go and read a name, I read a bad player's name, I'm probably just gonna straight up run at them. It's bad practice, probably. Like, you shouldn't be doing that sometimes. But there's some players, like even high skill players, you know you can absolutely abuse them. Like if I'm, let's say, Shu. If I see Shu, like, right side, and I'm a Skulk, and I see his name and I parasite him, I know he's gonna chase me, right? So at that point, I'm just dragging him. I'm buying this node, I'm pairing him, I'm running around. Like, there's so many different engagements or things you can do based off people's habits. Like, everybody has something you can abuse. If you have time, Ranger, you mentioned tram. Marines have
I do
5
also bring that
RTs. You
a lot.
killed ET.
That's
What makes you want to pack to go
your
repair
body
versus
save.
ops? So you go repair for several reasons. One, there's probably a Marine in ore. You either force him back, kill him, or stop the pressure. You're stopping pressure from one side. Like, you're keeping the Marines back. Like, you're holding them to their side while you're on their side. Another thing why you don't want to go ops, it's insanely pinchable. It's super pinchable. Like, maybe if you're ahead, it might be okay, and you have someone watching the exit, but I don't know how many Lifeforms I've seen die to try and dive into obs. Obs is also way harder to kill because you have spawners funneling in at all times. It's a farther distance. You go clear the hub guy, you go kill the repair guys. Where are the Marines? They're dead on the map. They're nowhere on the map. They're ET. If you're lucky, they're capping. Maybe one guy's gotten through to Mez. You're back to Mez again. 1 dead, 2 dead, go kill ET node. If ET node's not capped, you just go back to repair. Maybe you might want to dive on obs. It really depends on the positioning. You're trying to keep Marines off the map, hold your RTs for practically free, and keep Marines low on res. How do you pack play? Wow, I should have just done this. Let's say I'll do this first. Let's say you are a Skulk in a pack, okay? You're not engaging, okay? I engage just because you guys make me engage, but the highest life form engages first every time. So early game, that's the Gorge. Lerks, that's you. Fades, that's you. The only exception is probably the Onus. Onus may not be the first to engage. As a Skulk, you want to be living in fights. Let's say there's 2 Marines in Oregon. I'm probably, like, generally your priority, especially on res. EC is probably a better room for this, so I'm into this room. Okay, there's a Marine here. I might be doing this to bait bullets out for my lurk to kill him, right? Because he's shooting me, generally. I might poke it to, like, make him think. Sometimes you want to enter a room and try and bait bullets or try and fake them out. You want them to think about shooting you, and if they don't shoot you, you can go in for bites, but you have to stay alive no matter what. You start seeing med packs dropped on that lurk and he's struggling and you haven't been shot, you need to go in and help your lurk. Because med spam is real. You have to get 1 or 2 bites to make sure the med spam stops and that Marine dies. But every pack play, you want to be alive. Skulk is the most important life form to keep alive in packs, for the most part, because you are the res biter. The lurks can always heal, they have more HP, so on. But you need to be alive to bite res. Because the lurk can't sit here and bite this. The lurk needs to be somewhere else. The fade needs to be somewhere else. So if you die if you die 1 for 1, it's terrible, absolutely awful. Not only did you bring a fade to come and help you or a lurk, you also died, and you can't even bite a res node after that. So you played a 2 for 1 and traded 1 for 1. It's super bad. Questions? I'm done answering chat.
Okay. Mainly just like scenarios. Okay, so like later in the game, especially, you'll notice that like Marines are constantly flooding in through like X and hitting Oxy and like flooding security. Let's say one is a shotgun, one's a rifle. Like how do Marine like where's like a good engagement on fighting around this area?
Oh, this is hard, but you're probably spiking as the lurk generally. Like, maybe you're around here, you're just getting chip damage. You're going for chip damage. Because you know what costs them? It costs them money to heal. It doesn't cost you money to heal. So you're
Yeah.
chipping at them as a lurk, especially. You just want distance as a lurk, especially against shotguns. You want chip damage on Marines, force them to weld, force them to heal.
Let's say you're fade, like
If you're a fade, like
smart.
you are not fighting this. You are not fighting this all. There's no reason for you to be fighting it. You might be fighting Oxy. You maybe might be fighting X if you can get close enough to them without just dying, because
Kind of let them walk into Oxy.
they have plenty of Marines that can rotate into this. It's always dangerous. So generally, I'm taking the fight in Oxy.
Okay.
There are times when you want to take fights this far, but like, you need to be winning on the map somewhere. It might be a solo marine. You're not fighting two marines. As a Fade, you are not ever 1v2ing, especially shotgun rifle.
And then, okay, another scenario is, let's say there's a guy camping skylights, right, and both lurks are up. Like it's like, like a pretty common spot, right? So
Yeah.
like right here, like a marine just guarding like left side
Uh-huh.
red. How are you?
How do I want to kill him?
Yeah, as a Skulk trying to get through on left side.
As a Skulk? You don't fight that marine. What the heck?
Like how are you supposed to get through on like left side res?
Here.
And there's another guy like Oxy.
There's
or
there's
offload,
probably
maybe?
no guy offload in that case. You can go through.
Okay, you just like don't worry about him.
You go through supply, yeah. I mean, you
Yeah.
called him, right?
Yeah. I mean,
So that's one of the most important things. If you see a marine or if you hear one, you need to be saying where he is. You're like, okay, one skylights by the vent or something like that, right? And you're saying I'm going on res, I'm leaving him or something like that, right?
even like worth trying to get the para on him. See if he like pushes the organ or something. Or is it up? Is it even worth trying to get that para and like for that skylights guy?
What? Sorry.
Even worth like trying to get that skylights para? Like,
If you, let's say, I can do it, right? Okay, but you don't want to die for it. So
exactly, yeah.
if you're running through Oregon like this, I can probably hit that para. You can probably hit the para on him. You can maybe go back again. This is a para movement like people need to learn. Is this? This is how
Hello.
my Discord crashed. One sec. You para like this. It's quick.
They're just like
moves.
peeking it.
Another thing you notice if you're looking at my stream, I'm not moving my mouse. So maybe I'll flick a little bit, but you don't need to move your mouse when you're using AD. Like if I'm moving like this, or if I'm parasiting, you're standing in the same spot. I know where you are. So I'm either strafing a little shorter to hit that spot or longer. It's safer to do it that way. It's simple to do it that way and easier.
And then, okay, this is a marine scenario for this map. Like, I'm sure you've had this where there's one skulk that's like constantly pulling you from EC to supply. Like, do you try to just linger back and forth, or do you like sacrifice one of the RTs?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like, let's say, like, have you ever been in like a marine, and that's just like been getting pulled from EC, right?
Yes.
Let's say one's biting supply right now. You're biting supply
Uh-huh.
RT. He runs to EC, and then after EC, he like goes around the skylights and offload while you're already in EC, and he starts biting supply again. Is it?
Do you have a spawner? Is there someone there? Like that's the
No.
questions you need to
Okay,
ask.
there's
Like
no
if there's
spawners.
nobody on that side, you have no choice. You have to chase them. You need to be calling for help though.
Okay.
That's something people don't do enough. Hey, there's a guy ping-ponging me. Supply EC, help me.
Okay.
Or maybe just say, help me supply. Something like that.
So you just really just call for backup.
Yeah. You're holding two RTs. Like, if you're alive holding the two RTs, sure he's getting some chip on it, but he's not killing anything.
Okay.
The longer you hold the RTs, the better.
Yeah, like I do that as aliens a lot, but like it's really annoying when like you're a marine and it's getting happened to you. Kind of like the same with observation and ET on tram.
So I have a question about prioritizing targets. Let's say you got 2 people in Oxy. The call is to clear Oxy. Let's say you have like 3 Skulks. The Marines are like positioned with some line of
Like
sight.
that.
Yeah. Let's say,
Uh,
'cause let's say you're like the first one in, you're dodging around, you're waiting for your other buddies to come in. Do you like try to go for this guy by the power node first, or do you try to pick off the guy next to the doorway in Coolant?
This is hard because people move, but you should never have 3 Skulks diving through this hallway against 2 Marines. If I see 2 Marines at this point,
Dude, why does this shit keep crashing?
Yeah, he keeps crashing for some reason. Well, I guess that's the end of the training session.
Nah, he's good. His shit keeps crashing for some reason.
Don't kill him.
okay, so there's several ways you can deal with this. This is a vent nobody uses.
Oh, he did crash again, didn't he? Oh, god damn.
What is happening to him?
I think
He's
he's
such shitty internet, dude.
I think he's air dancing. Check
No.
out his moves.
His,
Damn, they're clean.
his stream crashed. He has such shitty internet, I swear to God.
And it like had to be him and not somebody else. God damn. Well, yeah, that's kind of awkward situation, honestly.
It says he started up his game again. Oh, look, his stream's working.
I don't know what to
Yeah,
tell you.
my
internet. It's being AIDS. I don't know what to but anyway, there's a transfer to Ox event that people don't use.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever
But
used
anyway,
this
there's
vent
a transfer to
path
Ox
before.
event that people don't use. Cross it from Oregon instead of trying to take X. It's a better fight. You can also cross it from Oregon instead of trying to take X. It's a better fight sometimes. Now my ghost is on the training box server. Can you vote kick me maybe? Or...
I'm sure. I will lift you. I'm just kidding. Oh goddamn! I have my brother
there's a lot of ways
screaming
to go around it. If
in
you're
the
the first
background.
Skulk in, like you probably are the one shot at first, so you might be trying to bait bullets.
I like dodge around the little grating walls around the res node. Usually.
I'll wait my bow kick timer out. But like you can use the walls in Oxy, you can jump around them. There's low ground you can use to walk around the Marines.
I assume it's better if you have like 3 Skulks, 3v2. It's best for the 3 Skulks to go on 1 Marine at a time.
It really depends. Like usually someone should win. Like 2 Skulks should win 1 fight. You might want to go on the second guy. The second meds are involved. Like that's when you need to start splitting damage. Generally, you don't want to be going at the same target, like in any fight, even as a Lifeform. If it's a 2v2, you should be focusing different things, kind of. If med packs are involved, of course. There's some times where you should focus the same target, yes. But that has to be called out. Like, say Baywang, like one Marine's getting like insanely med spam, and you're both fighting that one Marine while the other guy just shoots you. It's so bad. There's also like line of sight to consider, like in every engagement you take.
I've just
Yeah,
had
sure.
this scenario, I
Suck.
think, happen a few times where if I'm like the first Skulk in, I'll try to go for like the guys near Coolant because the other Marine's gonna be aiming probably at this doorway, so he won't. really be reacting so much to me, especially if I'm already chipped from going into the room.
For Skulk in, you're baiting bullets. It's like first Lifeform in, you're always baiting bullets. Like you are the one trying to force bullets out. The second they swap off of you, you keep going. Which is a benefit of using health bars, is I'm able to notice like if I'm being shot at, or you can tell just by them looking at you on lower ping.
Okay, so generally speaking, when should aliens be pack playing like super heavy?
Early, like the second lurks come up, you should be probably pack playing, but you need to clear the pressure first to stop it from happening. So when your lurks first come up, you want to like, I don't want to say go hard because then you might just die, but you want to try and clear Marines back to back as fast as you can so you can begin the pack, right? 2 axe, 2 Baywing, you want to get bang, clear axe really quick, heal on the gorge, kill the next guy's Baywing, bang, they have spawners now, okay, let's go EC, kill that guy, go back to grav, go back to trash, so on. That's when you start the packing. But if you never clear the initial pressure, it snowballs into, hey, there's just Marines everywhere suddenly. Because you just packed wrong. You can always have the occasional Marine who just decides not to cap and then runs at your node. But that's fine for you. That means you didn't cap a node and they're about to be really poor because of that decision. Talking about the Oxy fight. Let's say even 1v1, right? I've gotten to this point because I've won the room, right? So and then try and pretend like you're trying to kill me, no matter where you're from. So what I'm actively doing is you're seeing me the second you walk to a side, I'm walking to the other side, is I'm keeping distance from you the entire time. If you walk to that wall, I'm back here now. So it's kind of like a dance. So I'm just back, I'm all the way back. Look how far I am from you. And that's
Yeah,
things to fights, but you need to be paying attention. If there's a guy from X, obviously, you don't want to go that way. Or if you know there's a guy from X and there's a guy from this room, right? I'm about to be 2v1. What do? I can run here. I can run all the way back here. And if you look at my stream, you can see I'm still able to shoot while I'm doing this.
I don't think you can win the 1v1 in this room.
So let's say you chase me, right? I'm still able to kill you basically. Sorry, I didn't mean to fully kill you. But you see how I can shoot you while running. So those are things you should consider. It's like a dance. So it cheats around so you can spawn and go Marine, whatever, with console domains. So I want to go Marine and Oxy. I'll show you. So if I'm the Skulk, I'm trying to get to you as much as I can using cover. I want to be changing directions and bidding time. You can use the low ground here, but if they go to the right, you're just swapping on them every time you can. If they back up in the Coolant, you don't go in, you don't follow it. He's back there, I don't fight that. I have the room now. Now the Marine has to take the room. You don't necessarily need to ever kill this guy in Coolant unless there's 2 people in axe pressuring. But it's like a dance between aliens and Marines. You're trying to get as close as you can to a Marine with taking the least damage. The Marine's trying to get as far as he can while killing you. So that's something to consider when you play these rooms. Organ's probably easier to demonstrate this, because this is a bigger room. So generally people stand all the way there. So you can enter like this. You have this, you're closer to him. I can go again, like this, I'm closer. You can bounce off this, get closer. There's a lot of things you can do from here. Even if you're back here, you can climb this. If you jump really quick, he cannot shoot at you for a bit, and that means he has to back up to there to here to shoot you. What you can do from here is you just take the vent up. As long as you probably have help usually on these fights, or you should be trying not to win 1v1s, you should be trying to 2v1, especially on aliens. So if you're baiting out bullets for your teammate and you're swapping this guy's position constantly, it's really good. There's a guy from X now, like that guy's in an easier position to be killed. If he doesn't go for that, then you just go on him.
If they have like
Obviously,
two
you
organ,
can use this box too. People use
they
this
have
box a lot.
one shooting the res node from here and then one covering like back here. It's probably best just to sack it because if you just only have Skulks up, you probably won't be able to clear it. Or if you do, you'll be.
Here's something you can do. That guy, let's say this guy's used his bullets now. I'm going past him. I'm gonna kill this guy with my teammate, probably from the X vent. But these are decisions you have to like know on the fly and be pre-called. Reloads are like very important. Like if you count bullets, like 30, 40, okay, I'm in. He only has 4 bullets, he's not killing me. You can always do stuff like that. Also, never straight line. Every engagement I'm taking is I'm going off walls, I'm changing my direction as I go at them. And when you're fighting in groups, like, the Marine chooses a Skulk to shoot at. If you're not the one being shot at, you need to be running at that Marine. If you're the one being shot at, you're dodging while trying to close the distance and stay alive for as long as possible. The second you notice you stop being shot though, you have to be the one going in now. Which is something people don't do enough. They'll be shot to like 40 HP, and then the other Skulk just dies, and then this Skulk is just baiting still. It's really bad. First 3 minutes of the game though are probably the most important. So I'm gonna go over general spots. I don't know if you'll be playing these spots or not, but say I start in Pipeworks, I'm the offload Skulk. There's several things you can do. I'm holding tab this entire time to see if they power bill. If they didn't power bill, then it changes everything. If they power bill, I can be all the way up here. You can even get a para on this guy from right here. And then I can back up. If they didn't power build, a Marine can be like on this corner by the time you get here. So you can either swing for the early para, but you're backing up after that. Even if you're low, like you have to at least be... You have to be something to shoot at, right? You have to be stalling them from going forward, even if you're not healthy. You can't just let them free walk up to you.
I think I have
So
a
maybe
couple.
I'll be making sound like I'm going in, and then I'm just backing up.
I have a couple of questions, Ranger. Where do you want to get the pressure from? For example, from here or from
You
here?
can do it from here is safer, but you're giving up the entire hallway and letting them up for free.
Okay.
Generally speaking, like I said, you can beat them here. You can do like this, hit the para, get up in this vent, and then just run all the way around. And then you're here. Ambushing wise, someone want to go Marine and come up offload? I'll show you.
God damn it, he was faster.
So presumably I've hit the para and now come. Ignore the other 2 Skulks. You can keep running. So when do I want to engage? Here. I'm not engaging him as he's walking at me. You need to be on them. They should not ever see you first. So come up offload again. This is what like you guys do. Okay, turn around. This is when you guys ambush. He's already seen me, he can kill me. And this is what all the good players do. You can be on him already.
Yeah.
You win that fight A0, you get 2 bites before they do damage. You need to be taking the fights early.
Do that again. I want to watch that off your stream.
Another thing you can do, like hallways, right? There's a marine coming up Oregon. You can do something like this, where you gain momentum instead of just being too slow. So I'll do this a lot. I'll wait till they're on the corner, and then I will jump off the wall then at them.
Yeah. Don't let them
But you
aim
need to be
really
going
fast.
early or at the door.
So do it
They can
from
back jump, sure, that's why you wait. But you only have to hit 2x8s, and if they jump back, you can still bite them on the legs. Bite his leg, he's dead. So that's offload. We'll go over gravity really quick. People don't do this enough. You're supposed to have 2 gravity, okay? If you're the closest one in needs to be going as far as they can before the marine can be here. So generally speaking, you cannot be this far up unless they power bolt. But you can be here. You can sneak to here. Skulk could be here getting the para. And you have a lot you can do from here. You're watching the marine. You can be going like this. You can use the globe. You're using line of sight. You know where they are. They don't know where you are.
our new
So you're
boys
getting
jumps
around to
when
them
he
as close as you
enters
can.
the room.
How do
Huh?
you know that?
Said Nano new boys jumps when he's about to
Yeah,
enter the
like
room.
I've
So this is what I don't like doing. I don't like standing like this. I don't
yeah,
like being
I've seen
standing
enough
still.
skulks where that's the reason why I jump. A lot of times it's harder for them to hit the para, or like
So what you
90%
do
of the time.
is, like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm just AD, AD. So if he shoots you when you're peeking out, you've hit the para, you're out of, he can't see you anymore. If you stand still like this, you're dead. Doggo, nano, shoot, you're dead to the pistol already. You do this, even if you don't hit the para, you're still alive. So, trash lane, I guess, is the next.
You ever
So
like
the
try to get
fastest
a
way is to
parasite
go
from
through
here and then
security.
try to go trash?
You can do that too, but it's not advised.
So
'Cause
early
then
game
you're like out
trash.
of the room, he can push you. So trash, you can be here.
Then
You
for
want to be trying to get the
trash,
free pair on this guy on the power node.
for trash, do you generally want to peek, like when they're building?
Oh, I'm peeking. This is a power node. Like you're gonna hit this guy every time. This is the freest pair you can get. But the second you get this pair, you need to be like, or if you don't see that guy in power, and you don't hear him on the res node, that means he's close to you. He's probably on the small. He's already peeking. So you get that parrot, you now have freedom. You know where that guy's at. There's not a second, or if he's building, you can call that as well. Or if you see, you can tell like if repairs his cap. Like you hear, you can see on the parrot, hey, that guy's built the power node. Now he's building the RT. That means the other guy's up because you heard him, and you can take a guess. He's probably Baywing, he's security vent, he's gravity. You can tell these things just by hearing or paying attention. But you do not want to die here. You should never die for free. You can even back up. You basically like, you've given information on the map. You said there's 2 here probably. You paired 1. You can go run around now if you want. You can threaten this. You can try and go through this vent because you hear the second guy. You can wait till that guy goes on the rest of them because if that guy pushes, that means you can do this. That means you're on this guy. That means this guy's dead. Because he doesn't have help anymore. And this guy has to run back now. Or he just loses the node or spawner has to deal with it.
Would there ever be a time that a skulk is like ambushing bay area? Like you said, like you can kind of dance around with him in trash. Let's say, like, would it be smart for him to try to get the pick when the Marines
I
come
don't
into
take
bay?
engagements in Baywing. I might back up to here and get the para, but like this, it's just not a great room to take engagements. Like unless they're around this res node, you have some kind of fighting you can do, but like Waste is a better fight.
What about like getting a parasite in bay and then trying to ambush from like up here?
You can para this and then you can ambush if you like. But again, if you're gonna do this, like, you need to be going really early. So generally why I don't want to kill them in Baywing is 1, like the other guy can probably trade kill me. Assumedly. And if he gets paired, he's probably going to be playing safer anyway, regardless. And the farther they go before you kill them, and if you win that fight, that means the more time they've wasted in that life. So if you kill them and they ran all the way up to waste, and you kill them and you're still alive, that means you can threaten Baywing, you can threaten Trash, you can be anywhere, right? Now that next Marine has to think about his engagement when he wins.
How would you?
Even just being around as a Skulk, even if you're low, maybe you're making noise somewhere, that means they have to think about you.
Can you come back to waste real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So let's say you're me, right? And you know that there's a Skulk in this room. How would you clear out, like, pick which side to choose first?
It's like simple FPS, my friend.
That's what?
That's simple FPS. I'm walking like this, right? And then if I'm paired, I jump back. I've seen this far, right? That means this is safe. And then if they were on the right wall, they would have came to the jump, which means
What if
I'm
you're not
probably
paired?
safe on this side. If I'm not paired,
Yeah.
I'm just because people will jump on you based on sound. If not, like this is just typical FPS. You're checking the corner. I'm swapping to this side. I'm checking.
Isn't the back jump like kind of predictable though?
It's predictable, but
Like as a Skulk, right?
there's nothing they can do about it. You still win the engagement if you're A1 or 3 bite.
Okay.
But you just want to like clear like this. You want line of sight. It's like any game you play. If you're playing Counter-Strike, this is how you're checking.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't need to go this way anyway. I
Yeah,
generally don't like walking the way, so I might clear security first and then go Coolant.
Yeah, that's like the people that like are always crouching around Coolant. That's what I was like referring
Also,
to.
you want to see a Coolant engagement? Like, I don't think people know this, but you can go like this.
Wait, what did you do? Hold on, hold on.
Here, come here.
Oh, that was you? The fuck?
No,
That was
what?
Bless.
I'm here.
Oh.
Fuck.
Oh yeah, I do that sometimes.
People
I've done
don't
it
use
before.
that. But this is like a really great way to kill this guy in Coolant. Because you can go past them and then drop behind them. The key point to ambushing though is you have to go early on them. Like early game especially. Late game you can get away with trying to kill them like from behind because people pay less attention. But even if they're 18 and you're Vamp, if you're a good Skulk, like if you're on top of them, you should win that fight. Unless they get meted, obviously. I guess any other questions?
Um, trying to think of other scenarios that I've been like confused in, like what to do.
I
All
think.
right, so like.
Never mind. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I sometimes, when I play Garrus, I struggle like to know when I should be aggressive and try to push to alien harvesters, or whether I should just lane, play patient, and maybe like wait for rest to recap a room. So is there like times when you wanna do this and the other thing?
So that goes a lot to splits and depending on the game. Like a lot of the early game explains everything. Your 2 supply, you've either helped this guy cap the node or you're offload. You are the pressure. There's not many res nodes to defend. Like you're up here. If you get the pick, you're free to push. If you're supply and there's no guy offload, that means there's someone here or around you. Knowing when to push is, do you have someone pressuring? Are your lanes cleared? Is there a skulk somewhere? Like a lot of it comes down to thinking or judging the fights, I guess. It's harder to say without like exact scenarios because people can be anywhere and everywhere. It's just really hard to explain without scenarios. Like there's a lot of experience that goes into it, or scenarios that changes based on the answer to it. Like if you had like you have probably, let's say early game, you have like Baywing repair supply cap probably, or actually commonly is EC cap. So you always want pressure down the EC lane because that holds your res lane. But if there's other people pressuring on the map, like let's say you are EC, there's a guy up in X and there's a guy up in Baywing, you are not pressure, you are defending. You cannot have too many people up and your lanes need to be held to some extent. If there's nobody past these lines, for example, like you can maybe pressure a little bit. Or if you know, hey, there's like someone calls 2 Oxy, like 1 Baywing, right? And then you're listening Organ, and then you hear like 1 Skulk and Organ, and you know the last player is a Gorge, that means you can go and pressure Organ and you're safe. A lot of it's based off of information that you have or don't have. And that's
Okay.
why I stress so much for people to call what they're fighting or what players they see. Because it changes how everybody plays off of it. That's why you can that's why you can see the better players don't actually stand on the gate and they rotate into fights, or they're farther up, is they're counting players and they're rotating or changing what they're doing off of that. If they see no one on the map, and then you'll see the better players immediately run away. You'll see the guy on grab gate back all the way up. He'll take a way better engagement or even leave the room so he can re-enter with help. But you need to have your map open and you need to have people calling people and listening. And that's the issue with rotations, is Tram's probably a better map to explain rotations, but Gravity or Jambi's fine, I guess. Like if lurks are probably up around this time, and this guy calls there's lurks in Baywing, and he backs up to trash, that means you can pinch. If you know where they are, you can rotate to this fight. Sometimes you don't want to rotate to the fight, he's probably dead already, and you want to go Oxy to force the lurks back. But rotations require you to know where things are and be ready to rotate into them. And you also need backup if you're being crushed. If you hear lurks on you, you should be doing this. You should be running back. You want to back up into the line of sight or to a position where people can help you. Maybe there's a guy in Baywing, and maybe instead the better play is to run security as far as you can and hope you can get meted and fight it there. Rotations are extremely important on Marines. Anything else?
Yeah. So, um, for example, like there are times, like an easy example, like let's say we're arcing out waste, right, from Bay. There are times maybe where you're focused too much on arcing and you don't call out numbers, how many should be on the arcs, and yeah, like defending the arcs, like numbers wise.
If you don't know how many people are where, you need to have at least 3 on the arcs and probably 1 on a grab gate. Maybe 1 person can pressure, but you're committed to these arcs. So as long as those arcs are up, you need to be hovering around them.
So 3 on the arcs, 1 bouncing gate. I mean,
And maybe 1 pressuring. It really depends, like I said.
Okay.
The second they see you off gates, they might try and force that. But there's times where you see like it's like one fade, right? If they have like all their life forms up, you're not even one off gate. You're 5 on the arc push. That's your all in.
Okay.
But say it's like one fade, one lurk, one gorge, like, and you have like scans going in waste. You're free to run around. You
Okay.
probably only have 3. You don't even need a fourth on gate. And if the fade goes to clear you, what you guys don't do is you see the solo fade. That means there's no life forms in waste and you need to be poking it. If a life form's not somewhere, especially one life forms, when you see their only life form on a different side, you need to be doing something off of it. You can't let them kill your teammate like half across the map and do nothing to punish it.
So let's
You're
say we have
constantly punishing.
one guy pressuring Oregon or Oxy, right? And we see the fade go clear him
Yeah, the fade. You see the
Should-
fade leave. I'm immediately walking in.
to waste.
Yep.
Okay. And
Here, I'll
that's
run
pretty much
there
we
so I
just
can
push the gorge.
so I can show you.
Are you just
That
going for
fade. That
gorge at
fade's
that
taking the
point?
tunnel. I'm already in. He has to turn around, right? He has to turn around or go in. But there's probably a lurk or some skulks. If I pick the skulks, they're panicked. Now they're rotating to this. Maybe I can pick a shade behind it. But you'd probably have like two people have been walking in, right? They have to choose to respawn. Either that fade now kills the guy Oregon, and you maybe pick like all the skulks in, and then you see the fades coming back, and then you're back out of the room immediately. So you're unpunished. You're out of the room by the time he gets back. And you've taken something off, you force the response. And you just keep forcing responses like that.
So and could you have like another like that guy just keep pressuring? So like you're kind of like
Yeah, that
pulling
guy's
the
still,
fade.
he's just gonna go run again.
You're just
If a
like
fade
pulling the
responds
fade.
to him, it's
Yeah.
really good.
Okay.
If a fade doesn't respond to him, he takes the resonant.
Yeah. So you're kind of just like playing with the fade, right? Essentially just like pulling him back and forth, making him choose.
Exactly, you're forcing him to pick. And whichever he doesn't pick, you punish it. And that's what NS2 is. You are playing an RTS game. You're punishing what players do or what they don't do. I think what people struggle with solo pressure the most, let's say we have a grab bay gate, I'm solo pressure. If they have 2 life forms, like this solo pressure is gonna suck, man. But if there's a fade here, that means we should hopefully be winning other fights, considering shotguns are up. So maybe there's a fade in supply, right? I might not even walk into that room. There's a fade here. I'm standing here. We're both watching each other. But you know who's more valuable than me? That fade. Not the rifle marine.
Because
If
he's
you're
not defending the
keeping
hive.
a life form with you and you're a rifle marine, you're 0 P res. He's 35. If he's not doing anything, he's useless.
So that's where like the solo pressure comes in, right?
Yes.
That's
You're
where
like you're pulling people, you're trying to create res damage while
and
also pulling
space.
people to you. If you ever win the fight as a solo marine, like you're just dominating at that point. You win the fight, your teammates should be winning another fight on the map.
And okay.
When you're
If
being
you know,
pushed, obviously run away.
if you
Use
know
line of
aliens
sight
are
with your teammates.
if you know aliens are pack playing aside, like let's say you have supply capped, but the rest of your team is holding grav, repairs, baywing,
Okay, if
and
they're
you know the
packing left side,
and supply.
that node is dead. You don't run to it. Every
Yeah, you
spawner
just
should be running to the remaining nodes that you have. If they continue to pack supply, at that point you just kind of give it. Like you go, like you just trade with the people gravity repairs. So you've
because you
died
won't
on EC
accomplish
lane,
anything.
one person stays supply, and then you're immediately rotating to the other lane. If they go base on you, obviously you should be close enough to deal with that. But you trade with these people and they can suddenly be pressure. Now you're punishing the back point. You're now all the way up in here. Now they have to keep going, or they leave the Skulks on that side and the solo marine can kill him. Or you're taking Oxy, you're taking their entire res lane, now you're taking their expand. And the rest of the marines are in grab, or they continue to pack and you just trade with them. And the thing with trading is you have to understand immediately like that they're trading. If you see them continuing after you've killed Oxy, like you need walk into their hive, you need to walk into Organ. You cannot stand still in Oxy. You need to force a response or punish it.
Okay, so like you said, you need to have 3 on the arcs, right? In Bay. Let's say like while the arcs are going down, all your res is getting cleared, right? And they have 1 Skulk, or they have 1 Fade, 1 Lurk defending the hive. Do you still keep 3 on the gate, or
There's no way they should be clearing your res if you're arcing them. If they're clearing your res, that means they pulled like a Lifeform off and they're doing something stupid. Like if they're killing this repair RT and there's a Lifeform there, like everyone should be going and killing this idiot. At least 2 of them, maybe 1 stay on the arcs, but like you can go punish this Fade. If he's this far forward, like he's dead. He should be dead.
Mm, okay?
If there are Lifeforms deep in your lines, they shouldn't be. You should be able to pinch them and kill them. Obviously it's gathers, so people get away with it because lack of response, but let's say, right, they're biting the left side res behind this, and again, you see Lifeforms out, you go and poke the hive. You go force the other Fig to come back for your solo pressure or something. I see this a lot where arcs are going and then you see the alien team's gone from the hive and you guys don't walk in or you don't do anything. Like you don't need to be guarding the arcs if there's nobody to fight it. Like if you don't see like if you're the trash marine and then you hear the Skulk leave like your lane, like you need to be pushing or doing something else. Or you see the fates don't decide to clear you, you're like, okay, they're not clearing me, something's wrong.
Okay.
Let's say you're capping Bay and Skull got through to repairs. Do you try to finish the Bay node before trying to save repairs, or should you just,
Is there a
as soon as you
spawner?
see the,
Is there a player that can rotate to it? That's not you. If
let's
there's a
say
player
you
that
have
can
no
rotate
spawners,
to
everyone
it,
else is
it should.
pushed up in a bad position.
Wow, I'm finishing this node. If the node's not repair's not low, it's not going anywhere. I'm gonna finish it. Then I'll go walk and kill him. I want to leave that node for him. I just go over here. If he's smart, he runs away. And then I'm calling for help. I'm immediately running over here. Boom, he can't get away. Presumably he ran through like shipping vent or something and you just go chase him. A lot of things people don't do is they let, like, this one guy is just being absolutely screwed by this stupid Skulk and you guys don't go and help him. The Skulk's just running him around repairs, gravity, or supply EC, right? You guys don't go rotate and kill him so he can do something else. And then eventually a Fade goes and kills him and then you lose like 3 RTs in a row because of that. So that's something you guys gotta do, is you gotta remove the Skulk in your backline so you can be elsewhere on the map.
Even
Because
if
if
that
you know where
requires
everyone
2.
is, you know there's nobody on your back res, that means you're forward on the map. That means you're winning.
Even if that requires 2 Marines?
Yeah, that's why you want to clear him. It really depends, but generally you want to help him. Like I might fall out of hub all the way back to Logi to go kill that Skulk, and then we're back on that guy's not in Logi anymore. We're back on the map. That guy's not in our back res. They're not on the map. They're not in our back res, which means we're on their side, right? Then you're forcing fights on their side of the map and not yours.
But
Every
wouldn't
time
it
you can, you want to clear the Skulks on your back res, and then you want to re-lane to stop them from doing it again. You want to force them to have to crush through a side to get Skulks through.
Okay, let's say, like, for instance, like what you just said in repair, right? You call 2 Marines to take this 1 Marine. Wouldn't, like, this aliens just crush that one guy in Bay?
They might, yes. But that Skulk's gone. You've traded 1 for 1, right? And then you can now 2-walk into Baywing.
Okay.
Baywing Gate's really hard to kill. Keep in mind if there's a guy in trash. Like,
Yeah. how would you? Okay, so let's say for an example's point or alien's point of view, how would you say the easiest way to clear out bay is from like normal arc positioning?
I hate fighting arcs, to be honest. You
Yeah,
need to have enough life forms to even think about clearing this to begin with. You need to have like 2 fades, a lurk, and a gorge. And then you need to like get a pick. If there's like everyone on this gate, you don't even try. You go take something else. You see 5 on gates, you just take an EC hive. If there's 4 on gates, you take an EC hive. If there's 3 on gates, and maybe you've gotten a pick and you know where the other 2 are, you take a gate. If it's 3 on gates, you should be trying to take a gate with 2 fades.
Okay.
Like, you just win the rest of the map if they're arcing at that point. And you just take EC hive. You've probably gotten your upgrades out of waste or whatever you accomplished the goal for. You might want to even take this gravity gate instead. Go and grind it. Take the grab gate, sack waste, take EC hive, take supply. And then you kill the grab gate. If you've killed the grab gate, you go and kill this node, and then you go fight repairs. And then you go win repairs, kill their nodes. They're poor. You still have 5 for a bit because you have EC and waste doesn't die for a bit, and then he's capping supply. You have an EC hive, and you're up in res. At that point, you're fighting for positions again. You're fighting for grab. You want to stall this as long as you can because you're winning the res game.
Okay. Let's say you're down at 3 RTs, pipe, organ, EC, and Marines have a gate Oxy, and they're slowly like just bringing the arcs up to pipe. Like, what do you do in that situation?
Transfer is way easier for aliens to fight.
Yeah,
You can bile,
bile.
do a lot.
It's
Assumedly hopefully you haven't thrown too many life forms, or you should have denied Oxy or Grab or one of the 2.
is
Again,
it
you can trade for Grab Hive if you don't think you can win it with enough life forms, or sometimes you just have to fight it. But you do have to clear the transfer arcs usually.
yeah.
So you call everyone back and you try and win the fight.
If you see 4 or 5 like on the arcs, would
You
it
go
be
to
smart to
Oxy
just
Gate.
Oxy gate? Okay.
Yes, you take something behind them.
I was gonna say, would it be smart to
See so
just
many
like
up and transfer, and you see no one on gates, like you go kill the gate. I might be a fade and I might go like swipe a guy and transfer just to stall them from coming back.
so it wouldn't be smart to just like sack the hive and like go offload and or not like completely sack it, but send like
You
2
can go
skulks or
try and
something?
quickly kill the gate and then try and
Yeah.
clear it after, which is what you see a lot of us do.
I think that sums it up for
Another
me.
thing you can do as a life form is I might be 200 health, right? And I can't really fight this Oxy fight,
Mhm.
but there's a Marine coming, right? I can do this. Now he's like, he might be scared, he might push me, but either way, he has to look at me. And then I can back up, and I'm still like, especially with advancement have, you can be back here doing this. Every time he comes closer, you take another inch back, and you're just forcing him to look at you and think. And that's enough time to stall for a lot of Skulks to like kill these res nodes that are low, or have time to kill a gate or something like that.
That's it for me for this map at least.
Okay.
I don't know if Bless has any questions.
No, no questions here.
Me neither.
Well,
I think you summed this map up pretty well.
that's just this map. I guess like starting, like I showed you guys alien side, I can show marine side, I guess, really quick. Your 2 supply. Let's say I am the supply capper. Let's go, let's go. So I'm capping supply. I like doing it from here because they have to walk forward to parry you. I'm not sure how far this is to parry actually. Can you do this?
I mean, since I generally play supply a lot, like I can almost always see the marine foot.
You can
Can you
barely
see me
see
right
it.
here?
Look, I can't parry you until I'm like
Yeah.
which means that guy's close to you and you know he's there. So you take the para one from a better spot, and that means you know there's a guy close. I'd stop and go push him, right? But you don't want to play with him too much because your goal is to cap this node. Like he's stalling you. You don't want to be stalled. You need to cap this. If you're a solo marine and there's no guy offload and you know there's no guy offload or you see there's no one trash, other thing you can do that's safe is obviously after I build the power node, I'll go peek the hallway a little bit. Make sure there's not a Skulk here or there. I'll cap the node. 1, 2, 3, peek. Check the vent. Every 3 seconds you can check. There's a lot of things you can do like that on res nodes where you 3 seconds you peek. They give you time and makes the Skulk not able to kill you or sneak up on you. That doesn't really punish you nearly as much. A lot of it's timing though. Is before I build this res node, or as I build it, I'll cap it for 2 seconds then peek. Because I just know the timing that there can be a Skulk here.
Let's say for some odd reason, right, this marine gets picked and offload. Would you ever be worried that you would get crushed from supply side and offload side while capping? Because you're capping solo
Almost
now.
never happens, but if that's the case, I'm changing like where I'm building from maybe like here to like I'm standing on the side now.
So
And
you're
then
just playing.
I
You're
I
building
can
more
do like
cautious.
this. I can hear him. I can hear that Skulk. If he's bombing me, then you know what I do? I'm back here. See, I've moved all the way back here. That means this guy can't kill me. That guy can never kill you. And you have the room here. You now if you hear this Skulk, I'm walking at this Skulk now. This Skulk's a lot farther from me. He's not gonna get on me while you're forcing this Skulk to chase you. That's a lot of fights you can take these like this. Like if you're let's say Oregon, right? I'm gonna go run up. Oregon's like a perfect room for this, because this happens all the time to you in Oregon. Oh, whoops. You know there's a Skulk in X vent, and you know there's one in Oregon. You cannot get rid of this Skulk. He's in a vent. So what I'll do is like, obviously you can check him, but you can push to the other side of the room. You know there's a Skulk there, and there's no Skulk here. You take this, and he has to come follow you now. You've bought time for yourself. You bought space. You can maybe fight it. Or maybe you try and force one of these Skulks and kill this Skulk, and then you can make the 2 kill now. Whereas you can maybe only kill 1 before if you just wait for them to fight you.
I think that's probably one of my biggest problems, at least marine wise. Like just positioning myself like in a better part of a room that could benefit me.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
taking
that's why you
fights.
see a lot of us like go run over here. You won't go fight
Yeah.
the guy and transfer. The Skulk always makes this mistake. He'll like see you going and then he'll go late. And then he
Yeah.
can't catch you in time. And you've killed the other Skulk that has to try and run away or run at you. And now you can probably kill this Skulk coming in from Oregon too.
Yeah.
Because he's basically straight line at that point.
I don't think I've ever pushed this Skulk like that. This Skulk over here. I
You
think
can push him.
usually I just try to just.
You try and push him out. If he
Yeah.
goes in the Skylights vent, dude, you've used this in Oregon. You're killing this Nexus. I'm walking through your hive now. I'm dragging you. The comm has to go resist that. I'm forcing you to come to me. As long as you keep in mind that you say there's a Skulk, like you let through if he doesn't follow you, it's always okay.
Okay. Generally, like let's say you do that. You cut this chain. You have a teammate. You're that teammate that's like running up offload. Maybe
I'm
would
taking
you
Skylights.
run the sky? Yeah, just to cover
I'm
that
watching the
lane.
vent. I'm covering the lane.
Okay.
So I might be standing somewhere like around here. Or maybe somewhere where I can see both sides and people can't get through without me hearing or seeing them to go to base. Because what will happen if you do that is sometimes they might just try and go base. But if you can recognize it this early, like it's not gonna work. But because you do this, like that means this lane's open generally. Because you probably have like 3 on the right side. Base rushes only work when people are insanely out of position and not called in time. If you're in skylights and you see this coming, like you have like a good 15 seconds to respawn. People can literally kill spawn and be in base by the time aliens get there. The times when it happens, it's like you guys recognize it way too late. They're already on the guy in hub, and then they're through south tunnels into base, and it's too late at that point.
Let's
Like
say
there
you're
will be like 2
laning.
people in server, and then 2 people like in platform or something. They're just through already.
If you're laning in skylights for EC and supply, you get parasited from a Skulk and he runs offload. Now that you're parasited, you can't really go to supply because you'll just be ping-pong back and
If there's
forth.
no
You just call
spawner, I'm
for.
still running at him. The second I get paired and I hear him going, this is me. This is me right here. He's buying the node. He's gonna go in the vent. I push him out. He either takes the vent and goes around me to EC, and then guess what? He can't go around me again. He can go around through offload, but that takes way too long, and I beat him there again. So unless he crushes me, it's perfectly okay. But you shouldn't ever, like, if there's no one rotating to it and you're the only one on that side, you're not suddenly going, hey, I'm gonna go run to Oregon, then supply dies, EC dies. If there's a spawner, yeah, you're running to Oregon. I'm not chasing that skull. Like, what? Someone else has to deal with it. But with these gathers, people won't rotate correctly, so that's why I'm saying to do these things. Or they won't lane properly and put random people on one side, which is really bad.
Well, I guess there are no more questions about marine side.
I think that was very beneficial.
How come there's only 3 of us here for this training session?
Fuck that. Other kids are retards.
Okay, now, I think they're just either watching RangeR's stream or they're just gonna watch my video later once I uploaded it, because to be fair, it's pretty late in my place. I should be already sleeping, but I took the time to, because I want to listen to stuff personally. But yeah. So mind if I ask why you would want to do this, Ranger? Like this little training session? Did someone they ask you to do it?
I don't know. Nana, you asked me, and if I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, I may as well like help some other people too while I'm at it.
So instead of like actually telling me quick words, like through text, you want to, as well as tell anybody else. I see.
I just asked him for some advice and some simple things, and he's like, just get a couple other people, and I was like, whatever. And,
Teach me the mechanics for boxer feeding.
oh God.
I heard that you just need to spin around the marine like with
Pretty much.
VA or VD and just
Here,
stand by
go
it.
marine real quick. Here, no, don't spawn one. Like, come marine. It'd be
This
like
game's
right
just
here.
hard to teach because it's primarily scenario based.
Yeah. So like
There's not a lot of just general things to teach in this game.
you're kind of blinking, swiping at him, and then by the time you come here, you should flick your mouse back, swipe again. You're pretty much just doing it back and forth. It's like a same movement type of thing. So it's like, I don't know. A lot of Marines plan like super low sense, like as you saw by like Loam's chart. So like if you like have really good movement and you don't lose like any momentum, you should kill the Marine almost every time.
How I explain it is right click space swipe, 180
Yeah.
right click space swipe.
You're not blinking directly at them though, right? Because you'll
No,
lose all your momentum.
yeah.
You're using AB obviously, like WA, left, WD, right?
And you can even like throw metabolize in there so you don't like completely lose all your energy. Because you might lose a lot of your energy while you're blinking, depending on how far you're taking the engagement from.
Do you hold down crouch all the time when you're blinking?
Yes. So you don't hit
Um,
your head on the
Yes.
roofs.
Are
You
there
always like slam into something and get stuck.
Yeah.
times when you don't wanna actually hold crouch? Because I feel like you see,
I don't think so.
because especially against jetpacks, like they're flying above you. So if you like jump, you have better range, like above, like you reach more. So I think like
Maybe you're not jumping if it's a jetpack, you're just right clicking on them.
Okay, that also might be true.